A book club, but with music. Just think about how much better this potentially could be, or how great it could be as a separate thing. You do not have to go through the act of reading, which is something that a lot of people do not enjoy, and it's typically a little bit more time consuming. However, it also is something that actively takes away your ability to do other things. Listening to music is not like that. You can do it while multitasking. You can be driving, commuting, walking, exercising, whatever you want to do. And then you can be potentially prepping yourself for maybe a groove gathering with your groove group, which will be the new name for a musical book club equivalent that I'm creating. Additionally, with this, it's going to be a lot smaller of a commitment and can have more variability. With most books, it's probably going to be quite a commitment. You have to put a lot of hours to prep for this book club meeting because books are not usually small pieces of media, especially compared to music. So you have to dedicate time to consuming that book, and you have to dedicate a lot of time to only doing that and reading it. Whereas with music, you can consume it while doing other things, so there's a lot more variability and molding to make it less of a commitment for a groove gathering compared to a book club meeting. So you could do just one song, you could do one music video, you could pick out a handful of songs, you could pick out an entire album, you could pick out an entire artist's discography. So you can have varying levels of commitment depending on what works for your members, so that it could be 3 minutes of work before you meet up again, or it could be 3 hours. Because I feel like the book club format is actually pretty great. Getting together with a group of people that you like so you can examine a piece of media all together and speak about its importance, its context, what it does well, what it doesn't, what it means to you, what it could mean outside of that. I think all that is so great and could easily be transferred onto music. And music, as an actual thing to examine, is going to be a lot more forgiving and helpful and more compelling, in my opinion, in a lot of ways. So I do not know if this is already a thing that people really do, but I think the groove group would be a pretty awesome tradition to kind of start. We might be getting into original thought territory here, but I think that having kind of a group of people constantly reevaluating music, kind of having a task ahead of them to talk about this collection of songs or whatever they're examining, is a great idea. And I will be starting mine with my friend Gavin, and we'll be listening to some music. There's a Magna Carta Cartel that I've done a couple Song of the Days from. They're coming out with a new album, their first for, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 years, but very excited for that. The singles they've dropped have been great. And so we'll be listening through all that together, talking about our thoughts per song, the album as it cohesively links together, and comparing it to some of what our tastes are and what we like. And I think this is a great thing to do. This doesn't have to be something that I'm like, oh, only I can have a group. I just think it's an awesome thing that would potentially bring a lot of joy to a lot of people. So I think people should do this. Screw book club. This is better. Regularly listening to tunes with some people and talking about them, that's going to be great. And the other thing with music that's so spectacular is that it's something that's going to stick with you after you consume it. Like, if you read a book, sure, you might have some of the knowledge and remember that book as you go through your life, but it's not constantly going to be reappearing in your life as much. With music, you add that to your library, and you might hear that song hundreds of more times in your life. So it's got a lot more lasting impact and help than I'd say most books probably would in a book club, if you end up finding stuff that you like. Plus, if you find a certain artist that you like and maybe you only were supposed to look at one song, you might go through their entire discography. They're like, oh my god, they're great. You might see some people that are featured on those songs. You're like, oh, let me check them out. Wow, here's 100 more songs that I love. So I feel like there's a lot of potential for building up a lot of joy and great things around you just from having this happening. And it's a lot more easily consumed than a book. So the music equivalent of this is going to be called The Groove Group, and I will be starting mine in a couple days here. Going to be co-hosted by my friend Gavin. We'll see what we're really going to do with it as time goes on here. With not a large current following, we're not going to do too much with it, but it's something that we've kind of done for a long time together, and I feel like we might as well kind of share the idea as well. Now let's move on to our song and video of the day. Song of the day is Rich Spirit by Kendrick Lamar. I think that this is kind of turned into my favorite song off of Kendrick's new album. It is dripping with swagger. It is so cool. Love the chorus in this song. Also, when I've been doing my night cardio lately and sweat session, this is one of my favorite songs to have come up, and I enjoy running to it. And it is a spectacular Kendrick song, just a sound that you don't hear out of a whole lot of other people, I feel like, most of the time. Then the video of the day is an H3H3 video where he's chilling and making music with Post Malone. And I remember this being a video I enjoyed a lot from several years back. It was like right when Post Malone started to get some popularity, and he wasn't like the household name that's just a massive superstar that he is right now. And it was just cool to see him in some of his natural environment and just kind of doing his own thing, being genuine, authentic, which he still does now. I'm not saying he doesn't do that. But this was just an early first look at that, which was super awesome. And just a casual video that I did like quite a lot. And Post, of course, just came out with an album recently, which I have listened through only about like one time per each song, just about. So I do need to listen through it a little bit more. But there was a lot of good on that too. So we'll see if that maybe props up in Song of the Day sometime soon. Anyway, that will be it for the Daily Do. Peace out.